The warmth of Christmas. In the little snow-dusted town of Maplewood, nestled between rolling hills and whispering pine forests, Christmas was always a cherished season. Every home twinkled with lights, and the air carried the aroma of fresh-baked cookies and pine. Yet, for young Ellie Marlowe, this Christmas felt colder than ever. Ellie, a sprightly 10-year-old with chestnut curls and curious eyes, lived with her grandmother, Maggie, in a cozy but modest cottage on the edge of town. This year, money was tighter than usual. Maggie's knitting shop, once bustling with customers, had seen fewer visitors as the town's new department store took over. "We may have to skip the big tree this year, Ellie," Maggie said one evening, her voice tinged with regret. "But we'll still have a special Christmas together." Ellie nodded bravely, though her heart sank. She missed her parents, who had passed away years ago, and the thought of a quiet Christmas without the usual sparkle felt lonely. Determined to bring some joy back into their home, Ellie decided to find a way to make this Christmas magical. The next morning, she bundled up in her red scarf and mittens and set out into town. She knocked on doors, offering to shovel snow, run errands, or deliver letters. Her cheerful spirit was infectious, and soon, neighbors smiled warmly as they handed her small coins for her help. Ellie's determination grew stronger with every task she completed, fueled by the thought of surprising her grandmother. At the local bakery, Ellie used some of her earnings to buy a bag of day-old cookies. The baker, Mrs. Cartwright, slipped in a few fresh gingerbread men, whispering, "For your grandmother, dear." Ellie beamed and thanked her before heading to her next stop. Her journey continued at the forest's edge. She knew where the prettiest fir trees grew. While she couldn't afford to buy a tree, she collected pine cones, sprigs of holly, and sturdy branches to create her own decorations. Her hands worked tirelessly, stringing cranberries and popcorn into garlands. By the time she returned home, her cheeks were rosy, and her heart was full of hope. Over the next few days, Ellie poured her heart into transforming the cottage. She tied red ribbons around the pine cones, arranged holly on the mantel, and hung her homemade garlands around the windows. She even crafted a small star out of twigs and gold paint she had found in the attic. The finishing touch was a single cinnamon-scented candle she had bought with her savings, placed carefully on the windowsill. By Christmas Eve, the cottage was transformed. The little room glowed with handmade decorations, and the fireplace crackled warmly. Ellie had saved enough to buy a small present for Maggie, a pair of woolen gloves she'd noticed her grandmother admiring weeks ago. She wrapped them carefully in brown paper, tying it with a simple red bow. As the snow fell softly outside, Maggie marveled at the transformation. "Oh, Ellie, you've brought Christmas into our home," she said, pulling her granddaughter into a hug. "But you've also reminded me of something important." "What's that, Grandma?" Ellie asked, her eyes bright. Maggie smiled. "Christmas isn't about what we don't have, it's about what we do have. And we have love, kindness, and each other. That's more than enough." Just then, there was a knock at the door. Ellie opened it to find the neighbors standing outside, holding baskets of food, warm blankets, and small gifts. Mrs. Cartwright stepped forward, a gleam in her eye. "Ellie, your kindness this week reminded us of what Christmas is all about. We wanted to share the joy with you and your grandmother." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Ellie and Maggie invited everyone inside. The tiny cottage filled with laughter, music, and stories. Plates of cookies and mugs of cocoa were shared, and for the first time in years, Maggie's heart felt lighter. The warmth of friendship and community filled every corner of their home. As the clock struck midnight, Ellie lit the cinnamon candle and placed it on the windowsill. The warm glow seemed to reach out into the cold night, a beacon of love and hope. That Christmas, Maplewood learned something Ellie had known all along: the true warmth of Christmas comes not from gifts or glitter, but from the kindness we share and the love we give. Like, share and subscribe for more stories.